Welcome to DIU Escape Room Reviews. I'm Don.
I'm Phil.
That is Phil. And we review escape rooms.
That we do.
We're going to review Complexity in Farmington, Connecticut.
Yes, we are.
They have 4 rooms there. They have the Mall, Cat Burglar, Pirate Ship, and the Blizzard. We just finished the last room that they actually just opened a couple months ago, I think, right? But we started this place
A while ago.
yeah, almost a year. It was August of 2018 because it was actually it was Becca's second escape room, first official professional escape room, because we did the library fundraiser that day, earlier in the day, and it was this room that got your daughter hooked on escape rooms, made her an enthusiast. The first room we did was the Mall, and you can only book a minimum of 4 people for this room, and there is a reason to it. We booked 4 people, and one of them backed out on us last minute. Something came up, couldn't do it. They still let us do the room, and if you watched our escapism review, the tomb was a 4-person room also, and where it came to actually needing 4 people, the game master ran in, asked what to do, told him what to do, ran out.
Yep.
So very accommodating people. This is all private booking also. No matter how many people you book, if you only want to do 2 people in the room, if you can book 2 people, it's your hour. I really like that.
I do too.
That's a pet peeve of mine. You're right, go ahead.
I understand from a business point of view that you want to make as much money per hour as you can, especially in a business where you typically aren't booked every hour that you're open.
Right.
I understand that, and that's why they do public bookings. But there's something to be said, and it's usually more the owner-operating rooms that do this, that they want you to have the experience.
Right.
And that experience does not include making new friends. That experience is, I got my friends, and we're going to go in and we're going to test ourselves for an hour.
Right.
And the place loses a little bit of income that might have come in from other people that wanted to join at that time. In reality, if you want to do a room at a place and the hour that you want to do is booked, you're going to find a different time to do it. You're still going to go do it.
Right.
It's
But
just,
right. It may not be that day.
Yeah.
But maybe another day or another time or whatever. But
another thing is, a lot of these owner-operators, if you're willing to work with them, they're willing to work with you
yes.
to accomplish what you want to do. If their policy is, we really don't do private rooms unless you book the whole room, there are places, and there's quite a few of them, that if you explain to them who you are, what you're doing, and say, listen, what could we do to get around it, they'll work with you.
Right.
Most of them, and there are a few exceptions, but most of them are really, really cool about it.
Right. I would honestly, I would say probably about 90% of escape room owners are very, very accommodating. Especially in our experience.
Non-corporate ones.
Yeah, well, right.
Yeah.
To
Corporate's
me,
a whole nother basket.
Yeah, that's a whole nother deal. To me, you know what? I think that even if it's public booking and you call and you say, listen, we are enthusiasts, we would really like to just block out the room, but, can you help us out here? I mean, and it's not a money. We're not looking for free rooms. We never look for free rooms. If we got to pay an extra ticket, we'll do it.
Which we've done.
Right, which we have done. To get the room. I just don't see. We have 4-person team. I just don't see paying $250 to $300 to close out the room.
Right.
To me, no room is worth $75 a person.
You know, and I don't mind the owner saying, listen, the time you want to come in is our peak time.
Right.
You know, how about we do it at this time?
Yeah.
You know, which is fine. Or say, you know what, if there's multiple rooms that you want to do, you know what, when you get here, we'll figure out who's in the other rooms and move you around a little bit.
Right.
I got no problem with that either. Again, they're a business. They're there to make money.
Right. And we understand that.
And there's only so many hours in the day to make the money.
Right.
You know?
And actually, a lot of these owner-operated places are really only part-time too, hours open.
Yeah.
During the week, they're usually open from, say, 3 in the afternoon at the earliest until maybe the last booking is at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Weekends, probably different. Actually, they are different. Most of them open at like 11 to 12 and then stay until their last booking could be at 10 o'clock at night. And again, you're not going to book every single person in every single room every hour. But,
Right.
you know,
And
if you could just work with people a little bit more, and actually, if you do work with them, first off, people like us, and I'm not saying that we're special or anything, but because we do this show,
I think I'm special.
we don't announce that we even do this show until we're done with the whole place.
My mommy tells me I'm special.
Your mommy does think you're special.
Yeah,
That's why I used to ride the short bus.
that's right. Used to wear that helmet all the time.
It wasn't even a short bus. You were in the back seat of the freaking Taurus.
This is true. No, and these people understand the difference between a couple people that are just there. They've done one or two, and they're probably only going to do one or two, and it's a way to kill time. And then there's people that are enthusiasts,
Right.
and they usually appreciate if you tell them up front,
Right.
"Hey, I'm an enthusiast," And we've been told by owners afterwards,
Yeah.
if you told us ahead of time,
We would have locked out the room. For it.
yeah, we would have done this or that, and it just.
I mean, there was times at the beginning. I know we're kind of getting off track with this review, but there's been times at the beginning where when we were only doing like one room at a time, there'd be times that because we'd only booked the one room, and the people were so nice, and we were so jazzed after, whether win or loss. Well, you got another room ready? Right off the rip, and they're like, "Really? Yeah, you got another room ready? Let's go." And they would be very accommodating, and even if they were closed,
Yeah.
a lot of them would say, "Okay, I'll stay for another hour." You know why? Not for nothing. That gets average room is $30 a person. That gets another $60 that you wouldn't have gotten. First of all, which that's the bottom line. But
Right.
most of these employees and owner-operators are enthusiasts themselves.
Yes.
And they understand the jazz, and they understand, the adrenaline of even if you lost a room, you want to do it. You want to do another room. So, back onto the review. Sorry it took so long. The mall was our first one. This is Complexity in Farmington. You'll see the information right under here in the blue banner. The mall. Again, this was the 4-person room. The attention to detail in this escape room is awesome.
Great
It is
wow factor.
awesome. As soon as you walked into that mall, big wow factor. Okay? And it was cool. Out of the 101 rooms we have done now, we've never seen a room like this. Some of the puzzles we've seen, and we've talked about it, but we've seen variations of it. It wasn't exact, but it was kind of like this, but it did different things. It was very, very. This room was done very well, and this one's also hard to not give spoilers and talk about it. Like, it was. Some of the things you had to do in there were different.
You know, it's a room where there's so many rooms that you do that it's a room that they moved furniture into a room and put
Yes.
puzzles in,
Yep.
and that's the room. This is a room that when they built it with a vision, and they built it using artistic and architectural perspectives,
Yes.
and it catches you off guard a little bit because it's not your average room that you walk into.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil the wordsmith here. He's saying everything that I want to say, and I just can't say it.
You know what that is? That's 2 years of college not going to waste. I could talk about rooms.
Implants.
Implants.
Just again, like I said, the attention to detail in this was phenomenal.
The puzzles were good. They were fun.
Yes. Yep.
And the game master, again, there's certain game masters that it's like you're wasting their time. They're there to punch the clock.
Right.
This is a game master that when we got to the point that we needed a fourth person to physically do a puzzle,
Yeah.
they didn't come in and just rush you through that puzzle. They came in and said, I'm your puppet. What do you want me to
Yeah.
do?
What do you want me?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, what do you want me to do? You're still going to solve this puzzle. I'm not going to solve it for you and rush you through it.
Right.
And it's the things like that that you appreciate.
Right.
Yeah, that put it above a room full of furniture with a game master who's, you know, on their phone while they're doing you know,
Right.
while they're doing the game.
Right.
I like it. I like the place. I like the room. I would love to talk about the room a lot more, but anything else I could say would be a spoiler.
Complete and total spoiler. 1 to 5, my friend. 1 to 5.
4.
I'm agreeing 100%. 4 stars. Great room. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. The owner is phenomenal. She's an enthusiast herself. She's done quite a few rooms all over Connecticut. I think even out of state. The one cool thing is, especially if you come in from out of state, they have one map or 2 maps.
One map.
It's one map,
I believe it's one map.
and you take a pin and you just pin like where you're from.
Yeah. So they walk in the lobby. There's a map with all pins in it, and every pin is someone else's state
Right.
that they're visiting from.
So that was cool. Let's move on to our second room we did here, Cat Burglar. This one we did with 4 people. We had your daughter and Gary with us, which actually has become almost the main team lately.
Yeah.
And we've been doing very, very well. Your daughter has done 31 rooms now. Gary's been at 21 rooms now, and we're at 101. So it's not bad. Gary can't make it out as much as Becca can, and it's understandable. Cat Burglar. This room was different. When we got into it, I really thought it was just, okay, they placed furniture in here and that was it. Come to find out, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this room. I think we beat it and we had 10, almost 15 minutes left. There was one wow factor for me in this, because, and again, I say it every single time, I've never seen anything like this. How you find this one code. And it was brilliant the way they did it. Brilliant. I can't say, never seen it anywhere else. What you had to find and what you had to do, it was pretty cool.
This was a
Other than
room
that, it was
that
it was a good room.
when you first walk into it, it's a room of furniture.
Right.
And it's, it is decorated nicely. It's very immersive, but the initial thought is,
Right.
you know, the puzzles in this room were very thought out.
Yes.
A lot of time and effort was put into the puzzle itself, the execution of the puzzle, how it fit into the room.
Yep.
And it was a good room.
It was a good room.
It's not my favorite room there.
No.
You know, you got to have favorites, but it's definitely a room I would recommend someone doing.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you're into escape rooms, you would enjoy the room.
Yeah.
Uh,
And any room that's different in some way, you know, and this is.
right.
It's deceivingly different.
Right.
I think is a good way to put it.
Everything. This isn't a spoiler. Everything is hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of escape rooms, and I don't think that's spoiling anything, but it was done very, very well. Like you said, it's not my favorite one there, but it was a very good room.
A lot of the puzzles, you really had to think about the wording of the clues, and I like puzzles like that. I like puzzles where, you know, if you rush through the clue, you're kind of lost.
Right.
But if you think about it and really read every word,
Because that was one thing all four of us worked on, and we just totally lost track of it,
yeah,
and just lost total control. And then Gary just reeled us all in, and okay, this is what we got to do.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try, and it worked. It went right through. So
and I liked it. I thought it was a fun room.
I thought it was a fun room too. What do you got? 1 to 5.
3.
3. Agreed. Again, this room, it was the Cat Burglar. They rate this room difficulty-wise as a moderate room. You could fit 2 to 10 players in here.
It was a big space.
It was a big space. 10 people would fit in this game, but I think you'd be climbing all over each other trying to figure stuff out.
I don't know if there's enough
Personally.
stuff to keep 10 people
I agree.
occupied for an hour.
I agree.
That was one of the first ones we did with 4 people. I was glad we had 4 people, though, for the size of the room.
Yes. And it was one of the first times that the 4 of us did a room together. I think that was the very first time that Gary and Becca worked together.
Second, I think.
Okay, I could be wrong. But it's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. And right now, I mean, if we were to pick a team, you know, I think, honestly, it'd be you, me, Becca, and Gary, almost on every room that we can do. I mean, your son lives in Florida now, so it'd be whenever he comes up, I would throw him right on the team too. So when we have our north team, we have our south team. And we also what we're doing is replacing Gary with your son and vice versa.
You know, it's amazing how when you get a group of people together and there's different demographics where, you know,
different age group.
Yeah, different age group, that the way that different age groups view things.
Right.
And the way that their different age groups, the minds process things.
Right.
And it's pretty cool to watch.
It definitely is.
You know, because these younger people, you can see the light bulb go off.
And then you can see us, and then the look on our faces
Like, what the hell you doing?
Well, and then when we realized that, holy crap, you're right.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it. So. Our third room here. Third room was the pirate ship. And we waited a while to do this room. Part of it was because Gary really wanted to do the pirate ship.
Everybody wanted to do it.
Yeah. And again, trying to get Gary out is a little tough, you know, scheduling wise. So we try to accommodate for people who really want to do that room. So we hold off. It was close to a year since the last time we went here, and then we did the pirate ship. Come to find out, they're closing this room, so we got in just in time.
That's a sad thing.
It is. This room, first off, the game master, younger woman, very enthusiastic. She's been with Complexity, I think, since they opened, like since the beginning. And I believe this room was, she said, 3 years old, 4 years old. Because they've been open a little while.
Yeah, I don't know how old it is.
And so that's why they're closing it, and they're going to open up another one, which they opened up another one, and that was another reason why we went. This was the pirate ship. And it's been a minute since the four of us worked together too.
Yes.
And so we were kind of discombobulated, I would say, at the beginning of the room.
Yeah,
Trying
it
to
took,
figure
took
stuff.
a minute.
It took a minute for us to gel again. And I say this for every room and everything. There was a lot of cool puzzles that you've never seen before.
This is our third or fourth incarnation of a pirate ship, I believe.
Third, I believe it is.
That we've done.
I believe it's
And they've all been set up a little bit differently.
right.
And I liked the way this was set up. I liked that feel of being.
You're on the you're at the helm of the ship.
Right. As instead of a lot of the other ones, you're inside the cabin of the captain.
right? Or you're down in the dungeon area
Yeah.
or something. Which, you know, each their own, and each one had great aspects to it.
Right.
This was the first one where you're supposedly outside.
Yeah.
My biggest downfall on this thing, immersion-wise, was personally they should have painted the ceiling. Because the storyline is you're there at night, and it was white tiles, lights. It should have been darker tiles to make it look like night. I know you guys are tearing the room down, so it's too late anyway. But other than that, I thought immersion-wise, it was through the roof. It
was really good.
It was good. Again, it was our first outside ship, pirate ship. They had a full sail in there. Well, not a full sail, but they had a sail in there. It looked like you were on the deck of a pirate ship. It was cool. You look around, you saw the freaking thing, you know, the railings and stuff. I mean, it had everything.
This had my hands down favorite version of
A directional lock.
lock that we've ever come across. And I really want to tell you all about it.
Right.
But that would...
I mean, actually, you know what? They are closing the room, but I don't want to get the spoiler out.
Right.
Maybe in an updated
Once
video.
the room's closed, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we can spoil it, but...
You know, I don't know if the room's going to someone else. Or...
Right, that either. But, yeah, hands down, the best directional lock I've ever seen.
There were a lot of cool things in it that made it feel authentic.
Right.
You know, there was a nice little wow factor when you first walked in because of the setup.
Yep.
You know, the final stage of it, I thought was a little lackluster.
Yeah.
I thought that so much attention to detail was put into the whole room
That it just fell off
that
at the end.
it seemed like they just needed one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was...
I agree.
I thought that could have been decorated a little bit differently. The decor, the lighting, whatever, could have been a little bit differently. But, again, there's just one lock in there that is really cool. And I hope to see that in another room somewhere, in some incarnation of it.
Right. I agree 100%. All in all, it's a very solid room. Again, most of any errors were player errors. Time wasting, I don't think there was any time wasting in there at all.
I think this was their original room.
I think this was their very first room that they did.
I think it was the very first one.
And there was no time wasting. I believe there was no time wasting at all in here.
When you look at all their other rooms
Yeah.
that have come out since then, and the attention to detail that this company does, that's where I think this shows as being their first room.
Yes.
I think that if they had done 3 or 4 rooms before this one,
It may have been different.
it might have been different.
No, I agree. I agree 100% with you. All in all, 1 through 5, what do you got?
I'm at 3.5.
I'm just going to stick with 3,
Okay.
mainly due to the immersion factor. If it's still open when you watch this video, book it quick because they are closing it.
Definitely.
So-
Everybody go there and
Book it.
book this room.
It's a very good room.
It's definitely worth doing.
Yes.
And we want to fill this room as many times as we can before they take it down.
Exactly. Tell them the DIU Escape Crew sent you, or DIU Escape Room Review sent you. They do have our card.
And we get nothing from
and
them.
we get nothing from them, so it's okay. It's a free plug. That's all this show is about.
Yep.
Us voicing our opinions and a free plug for the place.
Yep.
Because we are enthusiasts.
And we have opinions.
Right, and we have opinions. All right, the final room, which this one caught your eye right off the rip.
Yeah.
Again, we live here in Waterbury. This is in Farmington. It's a good 45-minute ride or so to Farmington. So it's not really worth the drive to do one room. We're at the point now where we do almost 3 rooms every time we go out. So because we kind of feel empty when we only do one room.
Yeah.
But so they just opened this room. It gotta be a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Called the Blizzard. Difficulty on their rating is highly challenging. I will agree with that. It's team size 2 to 6 players, and age 15 and up is recommended. This room, right off the rip, was a wow factor.
Yes.
Immersive. I want to say it's probably their most immersive room there.
If not one of the most immersive rooms we've done.
Okay. Yes. I'll give
Walking
you that.
through the door
Yes.
into a space
Yes.
in your first impression is one of the most immersive ones we've ever done.
Right. Now, just to explain this room a little bit, you and your team of researchers are following the footsteps of a groundbreaking duo that made a remarkable discovery years ago. Your team is hoping to locate the area and the evidence, which will help to continue the initial study. During your trek to the research position, a blizzard forms in the distance. Can you find things you need to survive and continue your research before the storm arrives? The time on this was, the way that you tell time was awesome. I should say one downside to this room is, aside from, like the wow factor was there, but once the initial wow was over, it reminds me of other rooms we have done.
Especially one in particular.
Right. And we had mentioned this to the owner, she knows. And but it's different. Like it is different. I believe that there isn't one mechanical lock in there at all. I don't think there's
I
any.
think you're right.
I don't think there's any mechanical locks in there at all.
I don't think so.
I think they're all magnetic, which is awesome. So I guess it's called next gen, 5th gen, whatever the hell. You know what? It's a lockless freaking room. Okay. Everything except for maybe one puzzle, to me, made sense. Everything flowed really well. Again, some of the puzzles were player error. We just didn't understand it at first, but once it was explained again, boom, we were all set. I thought this room, again, aside from one puzzle, this room was done very well. You really felt like you were up in the Antarctic, really. It was cool.
I really like this room. I think from the moment you step into the room, the sight, the sound, the feel, everything is really good.
No, I agree.
I liked most of the puzzles in the room. The only thing that bothered me about the room was some of the puzzles, while being good puzzles,
Yeah.
to me seemed a little out of place for what they were supposed to represent.
Okay.
I think that if you have a puzzle, you have a prop or whatever it is, and you want to have it in the room, I think that's fine. I think trying to make up a storyline about why that's in there, if it doesn't quite fit that puzzle, makes the puzzle and that storyline seem out of place.
Correct.
And I think, in my mind, that happened a little bit.
Right.
Not enough to be a bad thing, but enough
to draw attention.
enough to notice it.
Yes.
And
I think we're talking about the same exact puzzle.
I think we are. And, but it was a great room. It was a, I want to see what it is.
Again though, the room was not built for bigger people.
No.
Okay, so that was one of your downsides too.
Yeah.
And you're colorblind.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was something that I mentioned in the lobby, and they were like, "Oh,
Right.
okay."
But that's something that's something that you pretty much got over that because we've been getting through rooms.
Right. We figure out what
we're just trying to put it out there to other owners, and they're like, you know what? Every owner we've talked to
says I didn't think about it.
You know, we never thought about that. Right.
Yeah.
Never thought about it. And so now, because not for nothing, colors and puzzles go together.
Right.
You know, like peas and carrots. Like Oreos and milk.
That's a better one. But no, like I says, or like you were saying, there's certain things are not meant for larger people.
Right.
I make it a point
Right.
to do what I have to do to get past that.
Right.
And it's not just here; it's other places.
Right.
And obviously, I'm talking about smaller entranceways for bigger people.
Right. No, exactly.
And I think that it's, something that we work around. I always give it the college try. Always made it through.
You've always made it through. You're
Haven't done the Winnie the Pooh caught in the tree yet. Haven't need to be buttered up yet to get pushed
caught
out.
in a hole to get through. Right.
Came close.
Yes.
Came close a few times.
I always ask you when we're going through the secret doors.
But no, it's a visually, it's a great room. Like I said, there's some things that I think, like the colors, like smaller entranceways, that the room designer doesn't think of.
Right.
When they think of the average person.
You're right.
They do what the average person will fit through.
Yes.
Or see,
Yes.
or whatever. And I just like to educate owners about that when we come up to it.
Right.
That's all. I don't get mad.
No.
Never gotten mad about it.
You've always made it a point to make it through.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Whether it's small openings or colorblind, or you have to crawl on your knees through a little tunnel to get through. It's you're there for the experience, and you want to experience the experience.
And that's part of the experience.
Right. All in all, I thought this was a pretty solid room.
Yep.
Again, aside from that one puzzle, it was very hands-on. That's what I liked.
It was.
I liked that a lot.
This was not what I expected at all.
No, and me either.
By the description of
Me
it.
either. And
be prepared to be
just wowed.
wowed
Yeah.
when you read that description.
Right.
And
Again, you felt like you were in the Arctic. You felt it. The room was done very, very well, and without trying to spoil anything, that's about as far as I can go.
Yeah.
You really need to experience this room for yourself to understand what we are talking about. So we highly recommend you do this room. Highly recommend you do everything in complexity. They don't have a bad room.
no, not at all.
Again, like we said at the beginning, like maybe Cat Burglar isn't our favorite, but it was still a solid
good
room. Okay, this room was done extremely well. We gave the mall a 4.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with another 4 for this room.
As am I.
This room deserves a 4. And again, highly recommend go and do this room. Highly recommend. Make sure try to get into the pirate room unless it's. I don't think it's closed because it's still on their website. I got my cheap tablet right here, so. So I don't think it's closed yet. I believe it's still available. Let me just double check it. Review the room, and let's click book now and see what happens. I think it's the end of the summer. I think they're shutting it down. All right, so July we're good. How about in August? Well, right now you have all of August too to get it.
So get there and do it.
Definitely. Highly recommend this whole place. They do rooms as complexity. They go as employees, owners, everything. They go out and do rooms all over Connecticut, all over the place.
They're enthusiasts as much as they are owners.
Exactly.
They take pride in what they do.
Yes.
And it shows, and they should, because the stuff that they do has a lot of attention to detail.
Exactly.
They're not rooms that are just thrown together on a whim. They are really thought out. The puzzles are thought out. Especially the
last one in the mall
are just out of the box thinking.
Yes.
And even I don't want to give anything away, but even when you walk into the building and you're walking to their thing, the artwork on the wall.
Oh, it spells out complexity.
Yeah.
That's not a spoiler.
It's pay attention to it because if you don't notice it, it just looks like artwork.
That was the first thing we actually noticed. We were like,
Yeah.
oh, this looks cool. And then when we got to the top of the stairs is when we're like, oh, that's
Wait, that's a letter.
Right.
Wait, that's another letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if you just looked at it and walked by, you would think they're just pieces of artwork. But even that just goes to show in my mind the attention to detail that they do. And again, being proud of what they do, they like to talk about it. They like creative criticism.
Yes.
And it goes both ways. They like talking about their experiences.
Right. And great people to talk with.
Yeah.
We could have sat there for hours just BSing with them, and if they didn't have another group coming in, we probably would have been there for a couple hours BSing with them. Very nice people. They are also passport. They got 4 stamps. Our passport is in your glove box. So this is just an empty one right now, but we do have all 4 stamps for them. They're also on egressors, and I believe they also have the card for egressors. The only thing is the Blizzard, I don't believe is up on egressors yet. So, but the owner said she's going to contact them, and
By now it's probably up there.
let's find out. Because I don't think I ever went in. So, venues, drop that down.
But if you want to go to a place and
No,
Do
they only
some-
have 3. They haven't
do some
updated yet.
stuff that is put together and the thought is a little out of the box from your normal escape room thing, appearance and game, then that's the place to go.
It really is. Highly recommend these guys. Go check them out. Complexity. Farmington. All info you've been seeing all throughout the whole show underneath us. If you like our reviews, like and share us, please. The more shares we get, maybe YouTube will finally pay us. Not that we're in it for the money, but
Money.
maybe get a little pocket change.
Make it rain. Make
a
it
pocket
rain.
change, and so I can buy another Dr. Pepper. No, the show is not brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Now that I showed it, this video will probably get freaking banned.
See, I don't have that kind of money. I still drink out of
It's a red Solo cup. Anyway, again, complexity, all that. Like us on Facebook, DIU Escape Room Reviews. Follow us on Twitter, same thing. Our brand new website, DIUERR.webs.com. All our information's up on that. And you want to get a hold of us, you've seen rooms you like and you want us to try them out, whatever you want. You want to just say hi, you can email us. What's the email, Bill?
DIU Escape Room Review, singular, at gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Let us know. We're up to, try different rooms, learn different things. You want us to beta test? You want us to come out and try your room?
Right.
You want us to review your room? You want us to hang out and BS for a while?
Yep.
Whatever you want. We're down for it.
We're down. So, again, like us, share us. Thank you for watching. Peace, Bill.
That's them.
This is DIU Escape Room Reviews. Later.